Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Jeet Ki Pathshala. Today we will discuss the remaining part of the lesson industry from the elective geography of class 9 under SEBA. So firstly we will discuss raw materials. Raw materials. All kinds of industries require some raw materials. The raw materials may be obtained from various sources. So, whatever industries are there, all of these need raw materials. Raw materials generally means those products, those goods which are used by some industries to produce some other goods. Some raw materials are heavy, some others are relatively light. So all the raw materials are not of same types. Some are heavy while some others are light but get damaged soon. All the raw materials are of not same type. Some are heavy while some others are light and may get damaged soon also. Again, some others lose their weight in the course of processing. So some raw materials are there which loses its weight during the course of processing. This may be called weight losing raw materials. So in exam you may get the question that what do you mean by weight losing raw materials? So the answer will be those materials which loses its weight in the course of processing are called weight losing raw materials. Whatever may be the case, the source of materials determine the location of industries to a great extent. So whatever may be the case, especially the source of materials determine the location of industries to a great extent. That means if a product or if a commodity, generally the raw materials, if it is available in some places, then generally the establishment of the industries which will use that raw materials will be in that place. The raw materials of iron and steel industry is iron ore, which is very heavy, and therefore such industries are located near the source of iron ore. The raw materials of iron and steel industries is generally iron ore, and these are very much heavy. So this industry located near the source of the iron ore. That means where these iron ore are generally available, iron and steel industry will set up in those places. As a result, the raw material transportation cost remains low. So if such industries will set up in those places where the raw materials is generally available, then in that situation the transportation cost generally remains low. On the other hand, cotton, the raw materials for cotton textile industry is light. That means cotton is generally light and it does not lose any weight during processing. Therefore, cotton textile industry may not necessarily be located near the source of cotton as it does not lose its weight during processing. On the other hand, if we talk about sugar industry, then sugar industry should be located near the sugarcane producing areas because it has to face difficulties while transporting this perishable product. Perishable product means perishable generally means the product which get damaged. Thus, the nature and properties of raw materials influence the localization of industry to a large extent. So, we can say that the establishment or the setup of industry also depends on the nature and properties of raw materials. If the raw materials lose its weight during processing, then it is necessary to set up industries in that area where that raw materials is available. If we talk about some other raw materials which does not loses its weight, then industry is not necessary to set up in that place. So now we will see power and energy. So all the industries require power or energy, and this power and energy can be obtained from various sources like coal, petroleum, natural gas, hydroelectricity, nuclear energy, etc. The industries using coal as power are established near the coal fields. and those industries which use coal as the source of energy are generally established in that area which is near the coal fields, because to carry coal from one place to another it costs much transportation. Because transportation of coal, you see here it is written, because transportation of coal is costly affair. So generally what we came to know, that the industries which run with the help of coal are generally established nearby the coal field, because transportation of coal is costly affair. That means it costs high to carry the coal from one place to another. Other types of power may be transported to distant places, but some other types of power can be transported to distant places. Like you can take the example of electricity, is not it? Electricity is produced so far from our houses, but even though by the means of wires and cables it reaches to our home. And thus industries based on these power resources may be located at some distances from the sources of power. So as electricity can be carried from one place to another by the means of cable, such industries can be established far from the source of energy. Thus, power or energy sources may influence the localization of industry to a considerable extent. So, power or energy also influence the localization of industry to some part. The third factors for the localization of industry is labor, because without labor an industry cannot run, is not it? The availability of workers determines largely the localization of industry. So if a place is very rich in workers, then industry can be set up in that place. All kinds of industries more or less require trained force. So all the industries, it may be more or it may be less also, but they need some trained workforce. Trained workforce means trained laborers. The industries like tea growing and processing need a large number of cheap laborers. So in tea industries, large number of laborers are necessary at very cheap rate. It is, however, true that presently a country can import laborers from another country if required. And it is also true that if required, then we can hire laborers from some other country also. Some of the industries are so much mechanized that they need less numbers of workers, and some industries are so advanced, they use so many modern technologies that they need very less number of laborers. Anyway, among the factors determining the industrial location, the matter of labor force bear great significance. So, no matter what kind of a company it is or industry it is, but in today's world, labor force plays an important role in establishing an industry. Whether the labor force required for an industry is available or not forms an important factor in deciding the location of an industry. So whether laborers are available or not in a place, it determines the location of an industry. The next factor that determines location of an industry is transport and communication. Let's see what it is written here. A good transport and communication system is required for localization of an industry. So to set up an industry, good type of transport and communication system is necessary. In order to transport the raw materials to the industry and to carry the finished products to the markets, proper transport facilities are needed. Now, to establish an industry, we have said that there is a need of good transport and communication system. But for what reasons? You see here, for two reasons especially it is written. First of all, to bring or to import raw materials to the industries. From different places we have to bring raw materials, and if the transport system is not good, then it is not possible to bring those raw materials to the industry first of all. And secondly, if we see, after the company or after the industries produce the goods, to supply these goods in the market, we also need the roads. So better transport and communication system plays an important role in establishment of industries. Moreover, for the movement of workers and other materials, suitable transportation is must. So apart from this, for the movement of workers also, good transport system is necessary. A good communication network with all the sectors related to the industry is also needed. Thus, transport and communication system play an important role in establishing an industry at a place. So we can say that good transport and communication system play an important role in setting or in establishing an industry at a place. So now our next factor is market, because market plays a crucial role in the localization of industry. So let's see about market. So whether an industry has to be set up in a place or not, it will also determine by the market that is available nearby that place. Markets play a crucial role in the localization of industry. Whether the industry should be set up in that place or not, it will determine by the market. The transport cost of products may be reduced if the industry is located close to the market. And if the industry is set up nearby a market, then the transportation cost can be reduced, because after production of the different items, the industry have to supply these items or these commodities to the market. And if the market is located nearby the industry, then the transportation cost will be less. The main cause of location of industries in and around the cities is the ready urban market available nearby. So especially if we see the industries are available in the cities area or in urban areas or closely to the cities or the urban areas, and that is because of what? That is because of the ready-made market available in these places. Although localization of industries in the city is not suitable from the viewpoint of taxes payable, salary of the workers, and difficulties for storage, it is only the market that plays the main role. Although we can say that setting industry in city is not good in various point of view, like taxes payable, that means the tax that they had to pay, or the salary of the workers is generally high there, and difficulty for storage, whatever they will produce there in their industries, they get very less space to store. But even though it is good in other point, because they have a ready-made market to supply the commodities. So moving toward the next topic is, or the next factor is capital. Here capital means what? Capital here generally means huge money or huge investment. Okay. So let's see what it is written. Except for the household industries, all other industries need huge capital for their establishment. So except the household industry, household generally means the cottage industry. If we leave cottage industries, apart from that, whatever other industries are there, all of these need huge capital. You have to remember this one. Okay. The basis for establishing large scale industries in particular is capital. And to establish, or the basis or the foundation of some large scale industry is mainly what? Capital. That means without capital it is not possible to set up large scale industries. The resources and requirements like land, building, machineries, power, labor, transport and communication, etc. for establishing an industry involve huge capital. So now for the purchasing of land or to establishing building for industry, machines, power, labor, transport and communication, all these need a huge capital. So it means what? To establish huge industries or large industry, we need huge capital for all these regions. Therefore many of the regions rich in raw materials and workers remain backward in industrialization due to lack of capital. So you may notice that there are many places or many regions which are very much rich in raw materials and also in workers, but even though these places are not developed, and that is because of what? That is because of lack of capital. It is the capital that encourages initially the individuals and the government to go for the industrialization. So it is the capital, it is the money that encourages people to set up industries. Now next factor for setting industry is the government policy. The government policies play an important role in establishing industries and their development. So the government policies, that means what kind of policy does government have? It also depends for the establishment of industries. All the countries of the world have industrial policies for their management of their economy. So not only in India, in all the countries of the world, they have the industrial policy. That means for set upping industry, what kind of rules they have to follow. These rules are present in all the countries. The private sector industries also have to abide by the government policies. And the private sector, that means those industries which are under the ownership of some individual. And these private sector industries also have to follow the government rules or the government policies. Moreover, the government of a country may aim at a balanced regional development with respect to industries and accordingly may chalk out plans and policies. And moreover, the government of a country may aim at a balanced regional development. That means government can make and implement different kind of schemes and plans for the development of all the regions. Such policies may have direct influence on the type and location of industries in an area. And what kind of policies will government adopt? It will directly influence on the type and location of an area. And now we'll see the two major industries of India. In India, there are many industries, no doubt on that. But basically, if we have to say major industries, then in India, only two major industries are there. Number one is iron and steel industry. It is a basic industry. That day also I told you, you have to remember here this point. What do you mean by basic industries? And what was the answer? Basic industries are those industries which produces raw materials to some other industries. The iron and steel industries are generally located close to the sources of raw materials. The iron and steel industries are generally located close to the sources of raw materials because the raw materials are very heavy and to carry from one place to another it cost very high. Iron ore, coal, manganese and limestone, these are the raw materials that iron and steel industry required. This type of industry may also be established close to the markets, and this kind of industries are also set up nearby the markets, so it becomes easy to supply in the market. However, this industry requires huge capital and as such is concentrated mainly in the developed countries. As we know that iron and steel industry requires huge capital, so generally these kind of industries are seen in the developed countries. The history of iron and steel industry in India is quite long. So from this paragraph you will get the another question. Let's see what will the question. Evidences are there to prove that iron made materials were prepared in the country during the ancient period, and there are many evidence that people have made iron materials during the ancient period also. However, modern industrial production started as back 1907, but industrial production, that means for the first time iron industry was set up in the year 1907. So you will get a question that in which year the iron industry was set up in India. It was 1907 by J.N. Tata. Okay. So J.N. Tata established the first iron and steel industry of the country at Jamshedpur. Remember this line, okay. This entire line you have to remember from here, from 1907 you will remember this line up to here, Jamshedpur. The iron and steel industries of India are mainly located in the famous mineral regions covering part of Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Orissa and Chhattisgarh. So especially in these places we can see iron and steel industries. This industry is concentrated here as the raw materials necessary for this industry are easily available in the region, and these industries are available here because the raw materials can be easily supplied to the industry. Subsequently, Karnataka and in Tamil Nadu of southern part of India also iron and steel industry have come up. The major centers of iron and steel industry in the country are Durgapur, Burnpur, Jamshedpur, Asanol, Bokaro, Rourkela and Bilahi. So from here a question will be there, where is Durgapur? Okay, it will be West Bengal. Last year this question has been asked. So remember, and these are some major centers of iron and steel industries. In Salem and Bhadravati of southern India also there are iron and steel industries. So if we talk about some southern part of India, there in Salem and Bhadravati also iron and steel industries are there. India is one of the important iron and steel producing countries of the world. It produces near about 30 million metric tons of steel annually. The pig iron, generally the pig iron means crude iron. Production in the country is also above 4 million metric tons. So every year our country produces more than 4 million metric tons of crude iron. The vast stock of iron ore, availability of relatively cheap labor force and huge domestic market will enable India to progress rapidly in the field of iron and steel industries. So India can develop very fast in terms of iron and steel industries as here cheap labor force and huge domestic market is available. So now the second major industry, if we have to say, it is cotton textile industry. Among the textile industries, the cotton textile continues to maintain its importance. So among the textile industry, still cotton textile have an important place. However, during the recent period, this industry has faced great challenge, especially from the industrial that use artificial fibers as raw materials. Although cotton has a significant role to play, but in present days, with the establishment of different industries which produces artificial fibers, the cotton textile industry has faced some challenges. The main raw materials of this industry is the quality cotton. So the main raw materials of textile industry is what? It is cotton. Cotton is a non-weight losing raw material. There was a question in the last year. Write an example of non-weight losing raw materials. That means any raw materials you have to write which does not lose its weight during processing. So the answer will be cotton. Cotton is an example of non-weight losing raw material. Therefore, whether the industry is located near the raw material sources or the markets, the transportation cost does not differ much. So other factors such as power, labor, favorable environmental setting, transport facilities determine to a large extent the localization of cotton textile industry. So to establish cotton textile industry, factors like power, labor, environment, transport, etc. to a large extent determine the localization of textile industry. So other factors such as power, labor, favorable environmental setting, transport, facilities determine to a large extent the localization of cotton textile industries. These are some of the factors for the localization of cotton textile industry. The countries advanced in this type of industries are, so let's see some of the countries which are developed in cotton textile industries. Some of the name are USA, Russia, UK, China, Japan, Egypt and India. So these are some of the countries which are developed in cotton textile industry. Before the establishment of the modern textile industries, this industry was widespread in the whole of India as a household industry. So before the establishment of modern textile industries, cotton textile industries widespread in the whole of India as household industry. Presently, the cotton textile industries are scattered. Scattered generally means spreaded almost in all the states of the country as a modern mechanized industry. However, this industry is mainly located in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. At least remember some of the name. Some of the cotton textile industries are also there in Andhra Pradesh and West Bengal. Okay. So this was little bit about the cotton textile industries, and with this we have completed our lesson industry. Hope you have understood something about the lesson industry. Thank you very much for watching our video. Keep supporting our channel and don't forget to like, share and comment. Thank you very much.